Princess Diana's tragic death in 1997 marked the end of an era, but for many, it also marked the beginning of countless unanswered questions. Was her passing the result of a tragic accident, or does the truth lie somewhere deeper, wrapped in conspiracy? In this video, we'll explore the theories, speculation, and the unanswered questions that have kept this mystery alive for almost 3 decades. And in the end, we may just discover who killed Princess Diana. Welcome to Mystery Theories.
Now when I look at you, I feel like that you live in Portland, Oregon, or Washington. That you just got out of a long shift at a coffee roastery.
Last episode, I was cosplaying as Hunter S. Thompson. This episode, I'm cosplaying as the coolest guy in Portland.
2 episodes ago, you were Ted Krasinski, the Unabomber. You're hitting all the classics.
CJ, tonight's mystery. Who killed Princess Diana?
She's dead?
Yeah, I hate for you to find out this way, CJ.
I remember when that happened.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. So what do you know about this story exactly?
That it was her boyfriend and her in a car. There was a paparazzi following them, because I remember that was a big thing, was because they thought that the paparazzi guy that was following them caused the whole accident.
To understand what happened, I think we should go back and look at Princess Diana's childhood. Princess Diana was born Diana Frances Spencer on July 1st of 1961. She was born into British nobility and grew up close to the royal family living at Park House at their estate. Diana had a very tumultuous family life, and her parents eventually divorced when she was only 7 years old. She was educated in various private schools, known for being somewhat shy and reserved, eventually growing to become a confident young woman. She worked as a kindergarten teacher before becoming royal. So she was living a high life from a very early age, which also means she was kind of on everyone's radar. And that's how she met Prince Charles. Diana caught the public eye when she began a relationship with Prince Charles, heir to the British throne. Their wedding was in July of 1981 and watched by over 1 billion people. And the couple would have 2 sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. Didn't
one of them dress up as Hitler one time?
I think that was Prince Harry, yeah.
That seems like a very hairy move to me.
Halloween got a bit hairy that year. Diana's appeal wasn't just due to her royal status, but because of her genuine care for the people. She was often referred to as the People's Princess due to her empathy, humility, and direct engagement with the public. She became known for her charity work, particularly with AIDS patients and landmine victims. Which, when I heard that, I was like, what the hell do those 2 things have to do with each other?
It's probably because, like, you have World War II and everything, and there's probably fields that weren't combed over, or maybe inactive ones that became active. Could you imagine walking your fucking dog?
Toto!
Get back here, foo, pow.
Hey, let us know in the comments if you're a guy in London in constant fear of landmines. Let us know, and I'm so sorry for what you're going through.
He carries a handful of pebbles and throws it everywhere he walks.
Yeah, so she broke new ground by engaging with people with HIV and AIDS at a time when the disease was highly stigmatized. She famously shook hands with an AIDS patient in 1987.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What they don't tell you is that after the picture was taken, the guy leaned in for a kiss, and she was like, okay, let's not get carried away. Diana and Charles' marriage, which was initially seen as a fairy tale, began to unravel shortly after their wedding. Charles' long-standing affair with Camilla Parker Bowles was well known and became one of the central issues in the relationship. Diana had said that there were 3 of us in the marriage, referring to Camilla's role in their troubled relationship.
God damn.
Right?
You're like, yeah, hey, by the way, I like gremlins too.
I wasn't gonna make any comments on the lady's appearance. But now that you've done it, I feel like now I'm emboldened to do it. That's his original girlfriend. I think the Diana thing was just for appearances, and he just continued this relationship that he had. But he couldn't marry Camilla because she was like considered low class.
She wasn't a noble.
And we're gonna put that face on a coin.
Well, that makes sense. Like he wasn't able to, put a ring on that.
Diana and Charles eventually separated in 1992 and officially divorced in 1996. Dodi Al-Fayed was the son of Egyptian billionaire Mohammed Al-Fayed, the owner of Harrods department store in London. Dodi had a reputation as a playboy and was known for his high-profile lifestyle. Dodi was reportedly a close friend of Diana's, and the two spent time together during the summer of '97. They were often seen together in public. The media speculated that the relationship was romantic. So this Dodi guy, he comes from money. He's known as like a playboy.
Look at that shirt. Of course he is.
He's a playboy in kind of the similar way that I'm a playboy. Only he's taking girls to yachts and I'm taking girls to Taco Bell. but you can get anything off the menu. August 31st, 1997, the crash.
Damn.
So let's talk about the crash.
Car's wadded.
Oh, right?
That car's wadded.
Yeah, that car's fucked.
Yeah.
On the night of August 31st, 1997, Princess Diana, Dodi Fayed, their driver Henri Paul, and bodyguard Trevor Rees-Jones left the Ritz Hotel in Paris shortly after midnight. They were attempting to evade paparazzi, who had been aggressively pursuing them throughout the evening. Hoping to dodge them, they exited the hotel from the rear entrance and entered a black Mercedes-Benz S280. The vehicle sped away from the hotel, pursued by photographers and motorcyclists. As they traveled along the Seine River, the car entered the Pont del Mal. Yeah, it's another thing I'd have to.
Pont de la Alma.
The car entered the Pont de Alma tunnel at high speed, estimated at approximately 65 miles per hour in a zone with a 31 mile per hour limit. At 12:23 a.m., the vehicle reportedly lost control and crashed into a central pillar in the tunnel. The crash was devastating. Dodi Fayed and Henri Paul were killed instantly. Princess Diana, though still alive when rescuers arrived, suffered severe internal injuries. She was rushed to the hospital but was pronounced dead at 4 a.m. Trevor Rees-Jones survived but sustained serious injuries.
So that guy's alive?
Yeah,
what?
somebody survived. Yeah, somebody survived that crash. But that's just the official story. Is it possible that there's more happening than meets the eye? Well, let's put the rubber to the road and check out some of these theories. Maybe
I don't know if
maybe we won't use that. Maybe we might not use that. CJ, theory number 1: drunk driver. So the crash was a tragic accident caused by Henri Paul driving under the influence while fleeing paparazzi. So what's the supporting evidence? Well, the toxicology reports showing Henri Paul's blood alcohol levels was 3 times the legal limit. There were also eyewitness accounts of high speeds and erratic driving.
He looks drunk. Look at him. Look at his bulgy eyes. Shit. If you're on the job, why would you be fucking 3 times the legal limit of alcohol?
Yeah, well, especially if that job's driving the Princess Diana.
Like, oh, I gotta get some liquid courage. It'd be really quick. Hold on.
He's like, I'm better when, don't worry, honey, I'm better when I'm drunk. There's CCTV footage. You can see the driver, Henri, he's in the hall at one point and he has to like tie his shoes. So he bends over to tie his shoes and he does a perfectly good job at it. And then he shifts his weight over to his other foot and ties his other shoe and then gets up. Like, it's not something you'd think you'd be able to do if you're 3 times.
3 times the limit, right?
The limit, yeah. Theory number 2, it was an inside job. Henri Paul, head of security for the Ritz Hotel, was allegedly paid, possibly by intelligence agencies or unknown actors, to orchestrate the crash. Henri was like paid to crash the car, I guess. It seems like kind of a crazy theory. Why would somebody intentionally drive a car and like kill themselves? If you're gonna kill Prince Diana, you feel like there'd be an easier way to do that.
Yeah, unless there was just something like, who knows? That's crazy.
Despite the fact that Paul only made $35,000 a year, he had nearly $250,000 in his bank account at the time of his death.
Holy shit.
So there's a MI6 officer that came forward and claimed that he knew this driver and that he was an informant for MI6, which is like the British CIA.
Yep. That's where James Bond comes from.
That's where James Bond lives, and he's up there with Santa Claus. Theory number 3, the British state. Diana was assassinated by the British establishment to prevent embarrassment to the monarchy, possibly due to a rumored pregnancy with Dodi Al-Fayed's child. This is the theory that Dodi's father supports. In fact, he's the one that brought forward this claim.
You believe there was a conspiracy to kill
Definitely,
Dodi?
they been murdered. Dodi and Diana being murdered, definitely.
Who would want them dead? And why would anyone want to kill them, Dodi and Diana?
Because they still don't accept that Dodi, my son, an Egyptian and Muslim, can be the stepfather of the future king.
So she wrote this letter to Paul Burrell, which was, I think that was like her personal butler. I'm sitting here at my desk today in October, hoping for someone to hug me and encourage me to keep strong and hold my head high. This particular phase in my life is most dangerous. My husband is planning an accident in my car, brake failure plus serious head injury, in order to make the path clear for him to marry Tiggy. Tiggy. Honestly, this is the first time I heard about Tiggy. I have no idea. Who's Tiggy?
Yeah, this says that people think that Paul Burrell was perfectly capable of imitating her handwriting. Yeah, so this is saying that the butler wrote these letters.
Oh, they think he wrote it himself?
Yeah.
For what purpose, though?
What gain? I don't know.
Theory number 4, Illuminati.
Nice. Jay-Z did it.
Diana was killed in an occult ritual as part of a broader conspiracy by a global elite, namely the Illuminati. We're getting a little bit more flat earth on this one. We're getting a little bit more
nice
lizard people on this theory. Okay, so we're gonna indulge me. We're gonna get a little weird here for a second. Okay, but
I like it.
Princess Diana had referred to herself on occasions as the Windsor Broodmare. She felt like she was brought in basically by this royal family just to be bred, to have children, and she felt that as soon as she served that purpose, the family wanted to...
They were done.
They were done with her. So the Merovingians were a Frankish dynasty that ruled over what is now France from the 5th to the 8th century. They were polytheistic and worshipped, among many other gods, one called Diana, which was the god of the hunt, of the moon, and of nature. They built these underground chambers outside of Paris to do sacrifices to the gods. And one of those areas is now the Pont des Almaux tunnel, where Princess Diana died.
And I see the car impacted the 13th pillar of the tunnel, a number with occult significance.
Yes.
Oh,
now, what are the chances of that? What are the chances that you hit exactly the 13th pillar?
The 13th. Dude, the driver looked like he was a part of the occult. Maybe that's why he got the money. He was like, well, here's the money. You just got to make sure you hit the 13th pillar and your family's set.
That's why his eyes were bulging. He had to keep an eye on that 13th pillar. It's also worth noting that the driver took an unusual route to go from, so they're going from the Ritz to Dodi's apartment. His apartment is at that roundabout at the very top of the map image there, right? And then you can see where the Ritz is. They could have just like gone down 2 blocks and then went over. Instead, they went past it along the river. They would have had to double back to go back up to Dodi's apartment, right? So that route makes no sense, except it has to take you through this tunnel because that tunnel was a sacrificial chamber to the goddess Diana.
That's definitely a flat earther if I've ever heard it.
But you know, it's possible to get even weirder with theory number 5. Why isn't it working?
I was like, what's theory number 5? This is scaring me. That picture looks fucking crazy.
Why is it not? Oh, there we go. Theory number 5, faked death. And this one, boy, I got like nothing for this one. I think I got like one TikTok video. Sometimes I write the theory first and I hope I find the evidence along the way. And this is one I really fell through on.
So what you're saying is it's her and Elvis right now.
It's her and Elvis living on an island.
I'll tell you, I believe that's her and Elvis, because Elvis was alive because he was in Home Alone 1.
Was he?
There are a lot of conspiracies out there that Elvis faked his death to retire. There's even a large group of people that believe that Elvis liked acting so much that he still sneaks himself into movies. Many people believe that this guy right here is actually Elvis in disguise.
Who killed Princess Diana? Was it a drunk driver, an inside job, the British state, the Illuminati, or did she fake her death? Which theory do you decide?
Drunk driver, definitely plausible. Maybe he was stoked that he was getting to drive the princess, and he's like, yo, maybe if we both get drunk, I might be able to go in on the tandem Eiffel Tower.
Maybe that's why they crashed. She was like, she got in there like, so what do you want to do? She goes, Eiffel Tower. And they go, okay, all right, I guess.
It's all right.
They're like, Henri, you're driving. Like, oh God.
Inside job. Now we're starting to get into like some weird stuff, right? Like, why would he, unless he thought that he would be able to survive that? Maybe he thought that he could have survived it, but he went too fast and it just fucked up. The British state, you could see that a little, because maybe it is they're mad because if she goes off with somebody else, like maybe they were like, nah, you fucked my son, like over, so here it is. So there could be that they were just trying to tie up loose ends. The Illuminati thing just so happens that because her name was Diana, that they wanted to puppeteer this accordingly. The faked death, I don't know. Like maybe she was being threatened by them and knew her life was up there. Here's your out. We fake your death at the hospital. You live your own life. You don't get to talk to your kids or anything anymore, but you get to survive. And maybe she took that. Maybe she took the red pill. My theory is that shit happens. He was speeding away from the paparazzi and he fucking lost control of his vehicle. Could have had a couple drinks or whatever, but even if he wasn't, all it takes is you're tired to just fucking slip, right?
Yeah, sometimes bad things just happen,
Yeah.
Sometimes bad things happen to good people. And I think it's a tough thing for our culture to accept. Like, we don't like to think of things along those lines. And so when a bad thing happens to a good person, we sort of, like, the mind wants, even like the logical mind wants to be like, well, that only happened because this other, like, secretive thing.
This shit happened. Yeah, like something, like it had to have been something. It couldn't have happened to her. How could somebody who's so nice and helpful get taken away like that? There has to be something. I actually have something that I'll bring to this table. Give me 1 second and I'll show you.
That's fun. Oh, is that
Princess Diana
with the school photo?
Baby,
wow.
With my school photo in there.
So is this Beanie Baby? Is this to commemorate her marriage? Her death. So that's the death beanie. How awful would it be if it had like just a tire mark going across it? We might not use that.
Yeah, I wouldn't use that.
I guess that's it. I guess we're all done. Oh, wait, actually, let's talk about MI6 agent Richard Tomlinson. So in 2004, a former MI6 officer named Richard Tomlinson claimed that Princess Diana's death bore a striking similarity to an assassination plan he saw while working for the agency. The alleged plan involved using bright lights to blind a driver and cause a fatal crash in a tunnel. While MI6 denied this and no concrete evidence emerged, it leaves an unsettling question. Was Diana's death a tragic accident, or does it mirror tactics described in covert operations?
If that's what they're trying to do for assassination attempts, they have fucking Wile E. Coyote planning these attempts, because that to me is just like
that sounds a lot like a plan that we had for murdering people, which involved painting a very realistic tunnel onto a brick wall. And like, what if that doesn't get her? It's like, well, that's when we send in Marvin the Martian.